So thank you all so much for joining us for today's webinar, Empowering Your Teams with Copilot, accelerated by Presidio CSP with Presidio and Microsoft. To begin, as some basic housekeeping items for everyone, please remember to use the chat tool, and there's a Q&A tool to ask any questions to our speakers, and we'll address these questions throughout the time provides today, and then at the end of the presentation. Additionally, the session is being recorded, and we will be sending out the recording link following the session. With those small housekeeping items, let's get started. So to begin our today's session, I'd like to introduce our Presidio speakers. Amanda Lewis is our Business Development Manager. Rob Phillips is our Senior Director of Microsoft Sales. And Shane Orr is a Senior Solutions Architect here at Presidio. Thanks all for joining us today. Rob, I will now pass the presentation off to you.
Great. Thank you, McKenna. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today, giving us an hour of your time. We know everyone's busy, and it's great to be able to spend an hour with you today and just hopefully give you some idea about how you can utilize Microsoft 365 Copilot a little bit better. So, all right, let's talk about a partnership here real quickly between Presidio and Microsoft. We've been a partner for over 20 years. It's a partnership so tight, even peanut butter and jelly are jealous. Sorry, that was my shameless dad joke for all you fathers out there that just celebrated Father's Day. I embarrass my wife and kids a lot, but happy belated Father's Day to all of you. So let's just take a minute. I'll talk about how Presidio is helping organizations unlock the potential of Microsoft Copilot and why we're uniquely positioned to lead in that space. Presidio was one of the earliest partners invited into the Microsoft Copilot Jumpstart program. What that did is it gave us early access to enablement, licensing, advisory resources, and most importantly, a seat at the table really to help shape the product itself. We used that head start to build a very robust field-tested methodology for Copilot adoption. We're also a Microsoft 365 Copilot Fast Track partner. What that means is we can bring in fast track engineers to support adoption, help build a circle of excellence around Copilot. And as a Microsoft Cloud Solution Provider or CSP provider, we don't just help with licensing, we layer in advisory services, deployment, support services to really ensure that you, the customer, get real value from day one. Our Copilot Readiness Assessment is a key differentiator in the industry. It's designed to help customers prepare their data, validate governance, security, and really ensure technical readiness with the products. We've seen organizations who go through this process, they're able to deploy faster, more securely, and usually with much better outcomes. We've also been very active in the field. Many of you may have attended some of our national Copilot roadshows that we did. These were hosted at all the Microsoft Technology Centers or MTCs, or I think they've recently been renamed to Innovation Hubs in all the various cities around the country. If you attended, you were able to see about 4 to 5 hours of in-depth workshops, prompt engineering, promptathons, demonstrations around use cases that we're currently developing with our customers. Hosting a national Copilot and Gen AI roadshow with Microsoft really helped customers move from that curiosity stage to more of a capability stage. In short, Presidio isn't just talking about AI, we're delivering it every day, and we're doing it at scale with security and strategic alignment that most of our customers expect from day one. And lastly, as part of our partnership and specializations, as you can see here with Microsoft, we're able to tap into funding that Shane will discuss here in a minute or so. But more importantly to note, we drove over $14.5 million in funding for our customers' projects last year. And we anticipate that to grow this year as well. And as of July 1, Microsoft has announced that those funding buckets are actually going to expand. So we have the ability to tap into that next year as well. So just, before Shane kind of gets into some of the details and the use cases and demonstrations, I just wanted to take a minute to kind of cover some questions that we hear from customers typically, and just basically tell a little bit of the story around Presidio's guidance and how we, joined the Jumpstart program, we didn't just adopt a new tool, we really embraced a cultural shift within our organization. As one of the earliest partners with access to Copilot, we saw firsthand how AI could really transform productivity, help people collaborate better, and really improve our customer engagement. And by that, I mean rolling this out to project managers and internal teams, across the board. We just didn't roll it out to IT. We formed an early adopter group and had some executive sponsorship around that. And then we roll licenses out to teams across sales, marketing, engineering, IT, program project management, and executive leadership. To support this, we launched a dedicated SharePoint and Teams hub where Copilot champions could share tips, they could help troubleshoot issues that others were having, and really collaborate on enablement strategies. And this really helped us, drive the adoption rate within our company itself. One of the first technical hurdles that we hit was managing the various update channels. As you know, like if you're not on the most current update channels, then you probably won't be able to install Microsoft 365 Copilot. And as a company, more than half of our company was on what they call a semi-annual channel because of a lot of the applications that we use. And we found quickly that they just didn't have the Copilot license because they weren't on the update channel. So the fix was basically our IT teams or internal teams writing some scripting that would automatically transition people to the current channel once they were enabled for a Copilot license. Training was a huge priority for us. We partner with a company called Clip Training that helps us deliver scalable role-based enablement. It's enabled with our Fast Track team. We use it in our own readiness assessment framework when we validate security, governance, and data posture before expanding access to it. We actually love the product so much that we include it as part of our CSP licenses that Amanda will talk about here shortly. We are their top partner. We're able to white label the tool for our internal use and our customer. That same adoption framework is now used with most of our customers. And the results of all this is we estimate that our users are saving about 1,200 hours per month. I'm actually going to show you that here in a demo in a minute. But more importantly, we've built a lot of internal trust around AI. We're showing how it can be more secure, more compliant, and very useful on a day-to-day basis, from summarizing meetings, action items, drafting emails, building PowerPoint decks from various PDFs or Word docs. Copilot's really become a daily tool for many of our teams. And as we continue to refine that approach, we're not just using Copilot, but we're really shaping how it's adopted across different industries. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing the deck for a minute. I'm going to jump over to Microsoft Teams and just a sanity check within just make sure everybody can see this. Okay, so a couple of things. I talked about Clip Training. It's integrated into our Teams client, as you can see here. This was really instrumental in making sure folks had the ability to go through the training. If you look at the course library here, there is a section that is all on Copilot training, right? Fundamentals of Copilot. If I just start there, like prompt engineering, what makes a good prompt, getting started, audio for input, things like that. So, and I think there's some prompts for your job role. This really helped, like when we rolled it out to sales reps. And you can see these videos are no more than 3 to 4 minutes in length. So they're really easy to do. You can gamify this and make it really fun for people to actually start to learn how to use the tool. Okay, the second thing I want to show is around Viva Insights. So when Copilot was first released, there was very limited adoption and dashboards and things like that you could use to kind of track how you were using Copilot. Over time, Microsoft has gone through several releases that have kind of helped customers understand how the environment is adopting Copilot today. And now they've wrapped it into Viva Insights. So as you can see here, we've got a quick and easy readiness dashboard. Shows me my total licenses, how many are assigned. So we're assigned to almost all that we're using. And then out of that 582 that are assigned, 495 people are actively using it every day. So we strive for a 90% or higher adoption rate. As you can see, we've started to slightly fall below that. So, we're going to want to spend some time trying to figure out, why folks aren't using it. We may want to re-provision those licenses to people that would be active in using it, and we do that quite often. One other thing to note here too, like this is just a time slice of about a month. So this isn't, 2 years worth of data. This is the last month, what's been happening. If I expanded this out, you'd see that our adoption rate over time is in the upper 90%. How can it transform your work? You can see how many people have used it for meetings, for various chats that they've done. So chatting with the tool itself. Almost 5,000 emails users have been using it in their email. Copilot chat, documents. And then if I look at right here, exploring that adoption, I can dive a little bit deeper into it. So I can see like a very strong chart. And this kind of shows like we hung around 250 to 300 licenses for the longest time when we went through a pilot. In January of this past year, we actually started rolling this out slowly to our production environment. We're up to over 500 licenses now, as you can see. And you can see the bar chart here just kind of show how that adoption has changed over the last, I'd say 6 months or so since we rolled this out. Usage intensity, 207 users are doing this day in and day out. Week over week or month over month, you can see that, at least the users are using it on a month over month basis. And then if we keep scrolling down here, you can see where they're most active in it. Out of all the users, most of them use it in Teams. And then, a second place to that would be Outlook, Word, PowerPoint, Excel. As Microsoft rolls out more tools with Copilot, we're seeing more people adopt it in Excel as well. And then just the Copilot chat, right? Whether it's internal chat, trying to surf documents, things like that you're looking for, or it's doing a web-based chat, you can see how many users are taking advantage of that. This is a good one here. What's the impact to the organization, right? In the last month, out of the actions that we've taken, there's been almost 20,000 Copilot actions taken against whatever various tools those are, and it's assisted people almost 750 hours, right? Which is really good. If I look at the hours in the value calculator here, I can see where those hours were split across the organization. But if you're trying to, prove a TCO or ROI analysis for your company as you roll these pilots out, you're going to need data like this that you can show your executive team so you can get buy-in that Copilot really is going to help save the company money. So if I look at the value calculator here, you can see I can plug in, what my average employee hourly rate is. This is something you can usually get from HR or something like that. If I go with a rate of $75 per hour, I can see over the last month, my company has saved over $56,000 in ROI from tasks that Copilot can do. And given that, we know it's around 500 users, even if I use the retail price of $30 per month per user, which is about $15,000, you can see I have roughly about a 300 to 400% ROI benefit month over month using the tool. So these are all great numbers that, you as a customer can use to take to your leadership team to help, get that sponsorship that you need to really kind of proof of value Copilot and what it can be used for. All right, I will pause there. I think I kind of answered, who we roll the seats out to. It should be a variety of people across the organization. Don't just roll it out to IT. How do I get them up and running quickly? Create that, adoption accelerator group, create the team site, create the SharePoint site, let people collaborate on it. That'll help spur it naturally within the company and culturally. And then use the adoption dashboards impact to really kind of prove out, how you can measure the impact to the organization. All right, I am going to turn the presentation over to Shane Orr. Shane is gonna, I think, go through some live demos here, and he's got some slides to present as well.
Yep. Hey, team. Thanks for having me. I just want to go through some kind of basic use cases, spend the next 10 to 12 to 15 minutes if possible. Start with the basics and kind of move on to a little bit more advanced. So here, as this is the copilot.microsoft.com kind of landing page. I am licensed for my M365 license as noted by I have two tabs here, the work and the web, but I want to start with kind of showing some real basic functionality within the Outlook client. Now, note that I am on a Mac, so the interface may look a little different than the Windows, but functionality should have relative feature parity, and the UX UI should be relatively the same. So one thing I want to do here is show you kind of, I think there's three pillars before I get started. As far as core functionality goes, I think it's, if I was going to categorize that, I would say semantic search, being able to securely access your chats, emails, SharePoint, OneDrive, etc. Then there's intelligent recap or summarization, and that's things within the application such as Teams meetings, Outlook, summarizing large documents. And then there's kind of generating content, and that's kind of helping with writer's block. So yeah, I'm about to demonstrate that within Outlook, but and shortly I'll show PowerPoint and Word. So here I am. I'm a soccer enthusiast. I'm excited about the World Cup coming up in 2026. So here I'm just going to start kind of a thread on that. So let's say I really don't know where to start, but I'm trying to get my friends excited. I want them to go with me to the games. So start an email here. Use Copilot, and it's a little small here. Let me see if I can increase this. But basically I'm saying, help me write an announcement for my friend for the upcoming World Cup. The goal is to create excitement. And so I'm going to click on the Copilot icon here. I'm going to say make longer. Great. So replace selection. So there you go. It's an incredible event. Can't wait to see you. Hope all is well, et cetera, et cetera. So closing out here, I will open up a an email that I've already kind of had some replies to. So let's say we've had some communication going on in the thread. So really, if I want to do a quick summarization of the email, click the auto Copilot, click the summarization, and it kind of calls out in a quick paragraph form or a quick call out. If my name was called out, it will highlight that. If there's anything, if I want to cite, if there's a citation I want to go to, let's say I want to acknowledge that, I can click that, and it should go directly to that part of the email. So pretty cool stuff there. Now, one feature that they rolled out, let's say maybe a month and a half ago, was scheduling with Copilot. Now, here I have the scheduled Copilot icon option. If I click on this button here, it will try to summarize the email thread. At this point, I can use the scheduling assistant or use even Copilot to try to find open times, but it will also attach any documents, relevant to that thread. So pretty cool stuff from Outlook. Now I want to transition over to the copilot.microsoft.com, the web chats portion. So one thing that I've been using quite often, you guys are probably much like me, busy calendars, hard to context switch, going from back-to-back meetings. I call it death by 1,000 cuts. So I have to quickly transition to meetings, get prepared. So what I've been doing is using this prompt pretty much every day, and it says, help me prepare for my meetings today, put it in a table format that's easy to read. And also I said, this is for demonstration only. Please omit any names of companies and people and replace them with generic ones. Okay, so just let's, hopefully that works. So we'll give that a couple minutes here. I do apologize for any live demo gremlins that are inevitable, but hopefully everything will work pretty quickly. So here, pretty busy day. Obviously, this webinar is one of them. So notice I have some citations here. So here's the registration. I had some other hyperlinks if it wanted to take me to email threads talking about preparing for this webinar, as well as some other meetings I have today. So let's say I want to go beyond today and I want to kind of review what the rest of my week looks like, or maybe even compare that to last week. So I'm typing in review my calendar, emails, Teams messages, and overall past week performances. How can I, improve productivity? Please make suggestions in the table, bold headers, italicize, make it readable. Again, this is for demonstrations only. Please omit any names and companies of people and replace them with generic. So let's see kind of what that output looks like. Now, one thing to call out while that's building it out, I kind of assumed, but let me just reiterate that I am on the work side of things as opposed to the web up here at the very top of my browser, which means it has access to all of my internal chats, files, OneDrive, SharePoint, etc., in a secure manner. So here it just calls out some things maybe that I could do better. I have some overlapping meetings. I need to prepare a solution summary on something that I've committed to, so on and so forth. So pretty good information there. Another feature I'd like to call out is comparing documents. So what I did earlier is I had Copilot create me files of its choice. I said, help me create 2 Word documents that are very similar, but slight differences to showcase Copilot compare feature. Make the sample documents with a topic of your choosing, at least 300 words. So I let Copilot kind of take the wheel for a bit. If I pop over here to my OneDrive, I save these 2 documents. So Copilot arbitrarily selected urban gardening as the topic. Sounds good. So I'm in my personal OneDrive. This could be in SharePoint as long as it's accessible to M365. I highlight those 2. The Copilot icon here appears, and I'm able to, let's say, compare these 2 files. I think this is good for redlining documents. You're trying to track changes. This is a good visual way to indicate like what changes have been made between multiple files. So we'll give it a couple seconds here. It should populate more data than this. There we go. I'm not going to kind of go line by line. I'm certainly no urban gardenist, but hope to be soon. I can also do a quick summarization. And I can also, here it summarized both documents. It shows me the reference files if I wanted to open them up. And if I wanted to ask a specific question on that, I am able to open that prompt up and I should be able to interact with that. Real quick, let me pop over to, let's say I wanted to move this over from, I have it in Microsoft Word. I have sort of some information compiled from the web, and now I sort of want to make, an executive summary from these documents. So what I'm going to do is I have downloaded one of Presidio's approved templates, marketing templates. So let me just open that up real quick. All right, so this has all my formatting. So I'm going to click on this Copilot. I'm going to say replace with new presentation. And I'm going to refer to the urban garden or the urban gardening file. All right, so I'm just going to create a presentation from this file and see what this looks like. All right, so it created some basic slides. Here I'm able to move around if I want. If I wanted to, I could delete. I could add another section, and let's say, let me see. I can type in. Let me just copy and paste here. Add a section highlighting similar endeavors to urban gardening that communities might benefit from. So let's kind of like, what's next for the community after urban gardening? See if that comes up with anything creative here. All right. composting, public green spaces. Great. So let's go ahead and create those slides. Does take a second here to generate the content. It will try to pull in some pictures. So here you can, and here I can probably use my designer to rearrange, but I will put this into normal mode and just kind of go through the slides to indicate, it got me probably halfway there, at least 60%. Maybe I need to tweak some things. Maybe I need to add some things, but here, maybe I want to add a little bit, something extra, type in Copilot, or open up the Copilot option here within PowerPoint, and let's see if this works. And let me just say insert a picture. All right, don't know how relevant it is, but select the picture. Of course, I could have selected a different picture, asked for a different picture more relevant to urban gardening, but there I inserted the picture. So pretty cool stuff coming out of PowerPoint. In lieu of time, we might have a follow-up session or some individual sessions on Excel and some other applications, but I think at this point, I think I will pass over to Amanda.
Hey, Rob, if you could bring the presentation back up, and then Shane, I think, can you just touch on our methodology slide first, and then I'll get into the licensing piece of it.
I can.
Perfect, thank you.
So Presidio's methodology around professional services for Copilot for M365, usually it's one of several different talk tracks I have with customers. The top talk track is around the readiness assessment. That's security focused or DLP focused. I think Rob mentioned that. That's for customers who are struggling to enable the security to make sure Copilot for M365 doesn't have access to files it shouldn't. So, i.e., oversharing of permissions or oversharing of files, excuse me. So we have readiness assessments. We also have Purview quick starts around the data protection. We also have vision and value, and that's more of what are we using AI for? What are some business use cases and personas? And then lastly, we have our adoption accelerator program, and that's part of our greater organizational change management program. And that's really helping to find early adopters, baselining, using Viva Insights to Rob's point. If we can utilize our LMS platform for training, great. And then analyzing and making sure we have ROI on the application. So Rob also touched on the fact that we're a Jumpstart partner partner. So meaning we had to adopt Copilot early on as an organization, going through our own pain points and lessons learned. We're a fast track partner as well, so fully capable of doing any type of user adoption training or enablement, as well as any type of funding related to Copilot. Next slide. I touched on this, but these are just a sample, a swath of professional services that Presidio offers. I touched on readiness assessment, again, security focused on the files, DLP. If you're in a place where you're wanting to utilize your E5 licensing and you don't have DLP, sensitivity labels, information barriers, et cetera, set up, we do have our Purview Quick Start. That's kind of starting from ground zero and building up the basics. We have our Copilot Vision and Value programs. That's kind of the art of the possible and the use cases, as I mentioned, the adoption accelerators, and then we can continue on from there, and that's studio extensibility. And I didn't have time to touch on that, but that's we have a strong skill set around creating agents, custom Copilots, and if that means connecting to some Azure OpenAI services for building specific GPTs, we certainly have that capability. So next slide. And Amanda, I'll let you take it from there.
Great, thank you, Shane. All right. So as we have kind of discussed today, obviously our Copilot methodology is designed to ensure that you guys aren't just fully licensed, but that we're also fully enabling you to leverage Copilot effectively within your organizations. As you've seen today, choosing Presidio as your cloud solution provider for your Copilot and other Microsoft needs is a strategic decision that's beyond just, again, the licensing component. Our extensive experience in implementing Copilot solutions across various industries enables us to bring relevant use cases to your business. We also recognize that security is paramount. Our deployments adhere to Microsoft's enterprise-grade security and responsible AI frameworks, promoting certainly safe and scalable innovation. And I know that Rob just addressed a question specific to how we address security in our deployments. So if you get a chance to kind of take a look at that question and answer, that highlights, again, kind of the approach we take from the security perspective. Also, as Shane highlighted, we facilitate the accelerated adoption through our expert guidance. We start typically with readiness assessments. We help with deployment services. But also beyond just that and getting you guys there, purchasing the license through Presidio gives you access to our always there support model. We provide 24/7 cloud support for all of your Microsoft needs, whether that is, you have additional licensing with us, whether you bring your Azure over to us, or if you are leveraging Copilot, we will help you guys, again, in a 24/7 support model. We also work with our customers on licensing reviews. We want to ensure that you're optimizing your costs with the flexibility that CSP provides to customers. And then our full lifecycle approach doesn't stop there. As Rob also touched upon, we are also supplying you the tools to help enable your end users to adopt Copilot to ensure that you're maximizing your organization's return on your Copilot investment. Rob already demonstrated a lot of this kind of live, but this e-learning suite that we offer as Presidio is a valuable resource to your end users and certainly to you guys within IT as well. The platform features over 5,000 training videos that are designed to enhance user productivity and facilitate the adoption of all the Microsoft applications within your organization. The extensive library provides essential knowledge of all the Microsoft applications to empower your users to access basically how-tos on demand and when needed. We've also heard from a lot of our customers that it can also reduce help desk calls because your end users end up having things at their fingertips that they can access data and information on their own. Access to the platform is made simple through a seamless integration with your organization's Teams client. We also can provide it via a web-based link as well. This ensures that training is always just a click away. And additionally, the Copilot enablement track is really a standout feature. It offers the tailored content for anything from Microsoft 365 and D365 and how you can leverage Copilot within those applications. But it also does include specific prompts that align with various job roles, as again, Rob touched upon. This targeted approach ensures that your users are receiving relevant training that directly impacts their work, and it helps foster that culture of the continuous learning and improvement and adoption of the technology. Again, we want to ensure that you guys are making the investment, your end users are leveraging the tools that are available to them and putting it to good use. And then we certainly can tie it again with insights to make sure that that adoption is being effective. Next slide. All right, so from an exclusive offer perspective, we've put together a no-cost just Copilot offer. Really, it's trying to empower you guys as the customers that are looking to kick off your Copilot journey really without any upfront costs. We're packing a funded solution assessment or a personalized adoption workshop along with Copilot licenses. So if you're partnering with Presidio for your Copilot licensing needs, we will be able to also provide the 24/7 technical support in addition to some free Copilot licenses to get you guys started. The 24/7 support is certainly going to be there to ensure your organization has continuous assistance from Presidio and Microsoft as needed. We're offering those free Copilot licenses in addition to also the e-learning suite that's complimentary for a whole year, which will help, again, guide your users along the way. We have a QR code there at the top, and we encourage any interested parties to act quickly because, as you can see, it's a qualifying offer, that's limited time while supplies last. But we hope that you at least express interest in this offering, and we will be reaching out to you as a follow-up. And then lastly, if you don't end up qualifying or you're not interested, maybe you're already adopting Copilot licenses, but you still want to engage with Presidio, you can certainly reach out. There's still valuable opportunities to engage with us. We encourage you to inquire about our solution assessments or, again, our personalized one-on-one adoption workshops, where we can tailor specific help to your needs. If there are funds available, to do co-funded assessments, we will find them and we will apply them to your engagement. Additionally, we do also offer a free license optimization workshop that is designed to help you identify if you are maximizing the value of your current licenses. That will go and extend beyond just your Copilot licensing as well. So we welcome any customer with any kind of engagement or agreement, to engage with us on that licensing workshop. And then there's also a current promotion that Microsoft is running. It is only through the end of June, but if you want Copilot licenses at a discounted rate, there is still time to take advantage of those Copilot licenses at 15% off. Presidio can help you with that. If there's interest. So there is still time, again, to save money on your Copilot licenses if you guys are looking to add additional ones and looking for some savings. So again, we encourage you to scan the QR code. We have a very brief survey with some information just to collect about you as the customer, and we will certainly reach out with any follow-up sessions to dive in deeper or talk further about potentially some assessments or workshops you guys are interested in engaging with Presidio on. All right. I know we have some extra time for some Q&A. I know there was one question that we addressed. We'll open it up for any additional ones.
Yes, thanks, Amanda. I did see one question come through the chat, which I will ask aloud to our speakers. Feel free, anyone, to answer. Someone asked, does Copilot Studio come with a Copilot license?
Talking on mute here. Yeah, thank you. Yes, it does actually. So any Copilot 365 license automatically comes with the Copilot Studio license as well. So if you haven't seen Copilot Studio, think of it as a way to, it's great that you can use 365 to access SharePoint and OneDrive and all the documents and your chats and your email and things like that. Copilot Studio will take it to the next level where now you can use APIs and things like that and agents to integrate into things like Salesforce or ServiceNow or any other application or data that you may have that you want to use Copilot to kind of tap into that data. So great question.
Thanks, Rob. And I know you already addressed this in the chat, but I figured I would ask it aloud so everyone else can hear the answer. So how do you protect discovering sensitive data that certain employees are not allowed to see?
I can take that, Rob.
Yeah, I was going to say Shane probably could take that better.
Yeah, your Copilot only has access to what you as a user has access to. So as a company, it all depends on what restrictions, permissions, DLP, sensitivity labels have been put in place. If you as an organization have the need to need help with assistance with any of that, then that's obviously where our either readiness assessments or Purview Quick Starts kind of come into play. There are some ways to mitigate that and to enable Copilot, out of the gate with some champion users, and we can certainly talk about that one-on-one more.
Yeah, I'll just like a real life example that we've seen in the past is, with OneDrive and SharePoint, like we've all done it before, right? Just share this document across my organization, right? It's easier than trying to, select 15 people that you want to see have access to a document. The problem with that is, it's usually buried, levels deep in our shares and file folders and things like that. But Copilot will quickly unearth those documents that, it could be an HR file, it could be a payroll file, things like that. So we've definitely seen that with companies. They don't understand, the breadth of that until they start doing an assessment and see like where that security lies. So definitely a great question and one that we take very seriously and recommend a security assessment for.
Thank you both. And one did just come through the chat. I'll ask aloud. If we are currently on a monthly pay-as-you-go M365 model, is there a migration needed to switch over to leveraging Presidio as the CSP?
So I can take that. So there is not necessarily a migration. If you guys are on a direct pay-as-you-go agreement, essentially we will work with you to determine when your term dates are, and we can come up with the opportunity to essentially stop those licenses and spin them up underneath Presidio. So we will work with you on identifying any of those dates. We will spin them up new, but we have processes in place to ensure that you guys are able to keep your licenses. And then certainly from there, if we also have a recommendation to optimize any of your quantities, we can go ahead and do that at that time. If you guys are interested in adding Copilot and you are in, kind of midstream with your pay-as-you-go M365 model, we can add Copilot licenses under Presidio as we work to get your additional licenses over to us. So we definitely encourage you to reach out. Let's do a licensing optimization workshop if that's something that you're interested in, and we can basically kind of draw out the whole plan to ensure that all of your licenses get spun up underneath us effectively.
Amanda, even if a customer is in an enterprise agreement, if they haven't purchased Copilot yet, they still have the ability to purchase those outside of that in a CSP as well, correct?
Yes, absolutely. That's a great question. So if you are in an enterprise agreement, your term is further out, we can still work with you. As Rob mentioned, it has to be a net new Copilot license for us to spin it up underneath our CSP agreement. But we do have some, larger organizations that wanted to kind of dip their toe within the Copilot world. So we can at least get you guys started. And then again, we will be able to support the adoption process and the implementation process as well. And then at kind of the end of that term on the CSP, we can make a determination what we recommend, whether it's to stay with a CSP or again, take a look at your enterprise agreement. But that's a great question as well, Rob.
Yeah, and one more comment, Jason, on your question. There's no disruption to the end user. Like they don't see a license switch or anything like that. It's all seamless. So.
And it looks like we have one last Copilot question. Someone asked, can Copilot delete any files? Is there a restriction we can put in place to not delete?
What I can say is, in general, Microsoft is real sensitive on Copilot affecting data that exists. We want to avoid inadvertently deleting. So the ability for Copilot to delete files wholesale or in an Excel file overwriting large data sets by accidentally typing in a command. That's a concept that we've, Microsoft, and I think we've all sort of been cognizant of. So that ability for that to delete Copilot, just to kind of delete, I think that's kind of been limited. If the desire is to set up some sort of automation or RPA to delete files, if that's the desire, we probably have some solutions for that. But Copilot in general, I think, will be relatively restricted on deleting files.
I can take that last one too that just came in. So when Presidio adopted Copilot internally, Francesco asked, did we see the ROI and was it a well-spent investment to improving productivity and accelerating our business? So I think the top ROI that we saw with the tool was with our program and project management teams. What it's allowed them to do with the note taking and meetings and the action items and the follow-up and things like that and automating all of that has literally saved them hours per week. And one of the soft savings that we did not realize is instead of being heads down taking notes and making sure they had all the action items in meetings with customers, they could engage in the conversation in that meeting a lot better because knowing that the tool was taking much better notes than they could. The net result of that is really, essentially they can take on more projects or a lot of them are stretched extremely thin right now. It just relieves some of that pressure and makes their work-life balance a little bit easier. So great question.
Yeah, we love all the questions. And if something comes up later today or tomorrow and you want to reach out, we'll make sure to include our email alias in the follow-up so you can reach out directly. But with that, Rob, we can move to the final slide, please.
Yeah, and I just I put it in the Q&A, but I probably should have put it in the chat as well. Like if folks can just react with like a thumbs up, like how many people are using Copilot already today? Just curious, like if you attended this webinar to really understand the licenses, or you're already starting to use it and you want to get some tips and tricks on how to use it better. Okay. Cool.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you all so much. Like I mentioned before, if you have additional questions, please scan and complete our form, which I dropped in our chat. You may also reach out to this email alias posted on this slide to get connected with our team today. So thank you for taking time out of your day to join us, everyone. We really appreciate it. And a big thank you to our speakers, Rob, Amanda, and Shane. We'll be sending the recording link and presentation following this event, so you can reach out to us. And we're looking forward to seeing you all at the next virtual Presidio and Microsoft webinar. So with that, have a wonderful rest of your day, everyone.
Thank you.